Hello, friends. A lot's been going on, and I'm getting ready to go to Mexico tomorrow, so I don't know what the situation is going to be there when it comes to doing Facebook Lives. I really hope that I'm able to do them. I don't know if I'm going to have a bath. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue my castor oil treatments. I don't know if I'm just going to be so busy every day from sun up to sundown that I'm not going to have time. I don't know what to expect. I'm really excited about it. I'm a little bit nervous about it. As outgoing and adventurous as I am, it is still a really big step to go to. It's my first time going to Mexico, and it's my first time going to a Tantra immersion. The last time I went to something like this was when I was, in One Taste, learning about orgasmic meditation. Let me make my hair a little bit cuter. And, going somewhere where people, so this is like kind of how I learned how to do so well in my classes, because I like to go somewhere where everybody, where other people are taking care of me. And that's what's going to happen at this event. And that's what I like to do for my people is to, I like to be taken care of sometimes. And that's what's going to happen at this event. So, but I'm not in control. It's like there's this thing. It's like you want to be taken care of, but then you also have to give up control. So it's kind of like a point of surrender. And so, going into this is a big surrender for me. And got my first COVID test all this time, like a year into it. And I finally got my first COVID test, and I was very nervous that it was going to come back with a false positive or even like a positive. So, and it has to be within 72 hours of your flight. I'm just like, oh my gosh, okay. So I took the test on Saturday morning, and I got the results back this morning, and I'm negative. So yay, I get to go to Mexico. Just so excited to be with people, like-minded people, and be immersed in. So I'm going to be learning all about Tantra, which I already know quite a bit, but I've never been to like an official tantric experience. So that's very, very exciting. And just to learn like all the verbiage. There's a whole vocabulary associated with Tantra. So I'm going to get to learn all of that and be immersed. The first week is ladies only. And so that's going to be interesting, especially because I was supposed to start my period. And I'm just like, oh, luckily it didn't start for Valentine's Day, so that's nice. But now it's going to start sometime while I'm in Mexico, I'm sure. So, or maybe it won't. Maybe I've just been too stressed and it just won't come at all. That would be, pretty good to me. But, so yeah, Mexico. So we'll see. I would like to keep doing lives. I would like to keep doing videos, but I'm not married to it because I also want to be in the moment. Like yesterday on Valentine's Day, I did a Facebook post, and I was like, oh, I can make more posts throughout the evening. But you know what? I wanted to be present. I wanted to be with the people I was with and in the experience that I was having, rather than worried about documenting it and so on and so forth. So I just stayed with my people and was present, and it was good. It was real good. So, all right, so let's talk about ego death. So if you've never heard of this or read The Power of Now, then I totally recommend it. So maybe it was 7 years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago, this is not my proudest moment. I've mentioned it before. I was 34. I was dating a 17-year-old. And I was pretty devastated when we broke up. It was like one of those relationships where like the electricity between us was so hot that it was dangerous. Like I didn't think clearly or sanely when I was doing that. I'm glad I had the experience, but honestly, I don't know if I would do it again if I had the opportunity because of how much damage I caused in my family. But you live and you learn, and I definitely learned. And one of the biggest things I got from that was my sponsor at the time suggested that I read The Power of Now in order to get over that breakup. So now I've read The Power of Now, like, I don't know how many times, maybe 4 or 5 times. And that was the first book that I read that really started to explain about the idea of ego. And not just ego as far as like self-pride, like, oh, look at how good I am, like that kind of ego. It's ego as your definition of yourself. And it's like we all have very many facets to our personality. Just like a diamond, right? There's many facets to a diamond. And one of those facets is your definition of yourself. And I just call that the ego. And that's kind of how Eckhart Tolle talks about it in The Power of Now, is that the ego is actually a separate thing in your mind that lives in your mind, and it wants its own life. So the thing is, the ego only survives in the past and in the future. And that's why the book is called The Power of Now, because in the present, you have the power, your true self, your highest self. You have the power in the present moment. So the thing is, when you're hearing the chatter, the monkey mind, that is the ego talking. And anytime you're regretting the past, having resentment, feeling anger, or in the future having worry, having concern, even if it's good stuff, like all my anticipation and building up for Mexico, that's still ego. Because it's in the future, and who knows if it's going to happen. It's just feeding my ego. And then once you do start paying attention to the ego and the chatter inside your mind, then you see how you have another part of you, and that's the watcher. That's the listener. And the more you can see that there's some difference between the witness and the ego, then you can start to get some separation and some clarity about the ego. Because so Eckhart Tolle goes on to talk about how it's almost like its own entity, and it wants to keep its own life going. So that's why it will keep talking. It will keep the monkey mind busy so that it can live. And so it'll keep bringing up shit from the past. It'll keep throwing your thoughts to the future. And these thoughts and these feelings feed the ego so that it will last. There's other things in the book that it talks about, like the pain body, like there's other things. And then there's other books that talk about, like, you can have a whole family in your head. There's a lot of personalities you can have, just like I said, like the facets of a diamond. There's a lot of potential, like, different voices in there, and that's totally normal. Being able to differentiate all of them might be a little bit of a unique experience, but it's valuable, because then you can think about all the different ones and see which ones are true, which ones are fear-based, which ones are love-based, which ones are, coming from source, which ones are not, so on and so forth. So anyways, I I broke up with the guy in November, and then it took 2 months almost for him to move out. And I have been really sad anytime I think about him. Even when I think something good, like remembering or romancing, right? Romancing the past. It's like, then I'm sad because I miss him. And I've been practicing meditation now for, gosh, like on a daily basis, like maybe 6 months or more. At least 15 minutes a day, if not 30, at least once a day, if not twice. And I do different types of meditation according to what's going on. But having that space to do the meditation, it makes a huge difference, because no matter what type of meditation I'm doing, I slow down and I get into the present moment. And I feel my body from the inside out, and I feel my energetic body. Sometimes I do Yoga Nidra, so I go on YouTube, look up Yoga Nidra meditation, and it's like a guided relaxation meditation. And it is like you can do a 20 or 30 minute Yoga Nidra meditation and get the benefits of like 1 or 2 hour nap. So it's really good, time saver. It's real effective. But that's what I did today. And so the recording I listened to is 22 minutes long, and I put my timer on for 30 minutes in case I actually fell asleep. And I had a really great, I don't know if you would call it an epiphany, but I just finally connected the dots. And I've been swirling around this. Like, I understood that this attachment to this relationship is ego. And, you know, I've still just been like feeling sad. Like, you know what? I'm sad. And I actually, in meditation, I give myself permission to feel sad. And I practice feeling that sensation and feeling, you know, the missing and the sadness. And I tell myself it's okay. And sometimes I even think about how this is a really unique, intense sensation. And I get to feel it. And not everybody gets to feel like this intense sense of loss. Or if you do, it's just like, it's such an intense, powerful sensation. Like the grief, the loss, you know, when you, like, I thought he was going to be my person forever. And so, like, that's a huge loss. And so feeling the sensations in my body and being in approval and accepting it and breathing into it, opening my heart to release it and letting my body do its thing and not judging. If my meditation time, if I have to cry, I cry. That's just part of it. I accept whatever comes up. And by the end of the meditation, I just hope that I get some moments. There's this thing that happens to me that feels so good, where my mind does get quiet and I do feel my energetic body. And it's just basically like I feel my body from the inside out, and I feel a sense of like tingliness or buzz over my entire body, and it's extremely pleasurable. And that's when I start feeling that, I know like I am in the present moment. I am feeling my body. I am feeling what's happening right now. This is where all the juice is. This is my true self. And so I really enjoy in my meditation when I get to that point. It doesn't happen every day, every time, but it happens pretty often. It's taken some practice, trust me. So anyways, I did that today, and then I was talking to my child about the whole thing, and sharing my experience from my meditation about, I'm just upset and I'm just accepting it and loving myself right where I'm at. And then it occurred to me, like this, like the dots that connected was like, you know what it is? My ego and my definition of myself is still wrapped up in how I was with him. Because I was with him for almost 6 years. And during that time, like up until the last year, maybe 2 years when we moved in together, I think that's when he stopped being completely honest, whether he was conscious about it or not. Like just looking back, like that's when I was like, hey, I either want to move in or I want to stop seeing you so seriously. So that was an ultimatum. That's my part. See, like I put myself, this is my radical responsibility, right? I put myself in the position to be hurt because I basically gave him an ultimatum. I was like, hey, I don't want to live alone. If you want to be the person to live with me, then let's move in together. If you don't, then I need to stop dating you so seriously so I can start dating other people so I don't have to live alone anymore. And he said he would move in with me, and it's not what he really wanted. And so it was at that moment, like looking back, that he started not being honest with himself and therefore not being honest with me. And so, anyways, I have looked at myself a certain way with him, and that has to change. My whole definition of myself has to change. It gets to change. It is changing whether I wanted to or not, right? And that's why, like, I think a big part of the reason why I'm feeling so much sadness, because my ego is going to have to die, at least a piece of it. And it doesn't want to die. It doesn't want to go away, right? It wants to stay the way it is. So anytime it can, it's like inserting itself, remembering the past, worrying about the future. Like, it's crazy, especially any things that resonate near to my ex. It starts bringing it into the present moment. So like right now I'm getting ready to go to Mexico, and I've been having a lot of thoughts about, what if something happens to me while I'm there and I don't get to see him, or I'm not getting to say goodbye to him before I leave. Things like that. And what I realized today in my meditation is that no, actually, my anticipation of missing people, especially my kid, is resonating right next to having been missing my ex. So it's like a parallel sensation, a parallel emotion, the missing. So it's like the ego is taking this opportunity to, like, my missing of my kid it's turning up the intensity of missing my ex. It's like, oh man, so sneaky. So damn sneaky. I had realized this already with other people. Like last weekend, my a guy I date from Northern California, he came in town, and all the feelings of like love and companionship and fun and excitement and all of that, once he left, I came down really hard, because it again made me remember those feelings with my ex. And so I'm like, okay, I'm really seeing how my ego just does not want to give this up. It really doesn't. And it's like, even like being around the apartment, seeing like just memories of us together, and looking at the garage, like, is he out there? Like, again, so I've been really praying for healthy detachment, healthy attachment, good boundaries, being present, and I think that it's good. I think it's working because I'm getting more and more awareness, and the awareness is giving me more objectivity. So yeah, so it's a lot. It's good stuff. I hope this helps. I hope that it helps you on your journey, and I hope that I get to be in touch while I'm in Mexico. All right, make it a sexy day.